All right, hello everyone. I'm Steve Soloff with InformTheVoteNJ.com, and welcome back to our series on the upcoming primary elections relevant to Cumberland County. Today we're joined by Rodney Dean, a Democratic candidate for the House of Representatives, challenging the incumbent Jeff Van Drew. Rodney stands out for his commitment to the community engagement and practical solutions to local issues. And we'd like to point out that the purpose of today's interview is to go beyond what is already on our website and to put a personality behind the name on the ballot. So, Rodney, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Let's jump right in. Rodney, can you tell us more about your background and any particular experiences that have prepared you for the role of congressman?
Absolutely. It was, me growing up in Woodbury and working my whole life, and the men that I was coming up with would always say to me, well, what are you going to do when you're 65? So I believe, the guys ahead of me taught me how to work and made me go to work, and I feel as though I failed my generation, the younger generation. So sometimes, I started training the kids in boxing for free. I would say at least 20 years ago, I started training them for free in front of my house when I lived in Sicklerville. So then the older kids would come, I would see them at night, and they would give me their gun. This happened, this is no lie, this happened at least 3 times, and they were going through something mentally. So I would take their pistols from them, you know what I mean, and then give them back, and then go get them again and give them to the police in Winslow. And Winslow can verify it because I used to work for Winslow's Water and Sewer Department.
Okay.
But it started from me training the kids for free at the Star Center over 20 years ago, maybe. And
So-
you can look that up too.
Yeah, it sounds like you were directly involved in the youth and helping to take a negative situation and turn it into a positive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yes, I love the kids.
You've mentioned that a meeting with the Attorney General inspired you to run.
Absolutely.
Could you elaborate on what happened and how that influenced your decision?
Absolutely. I was living in Paulsboro, and I didn't think the mayor was doing such a good job for the community, the kids, the elderly, or the veterans that was in Paulsboro. And I was complaining, and they were actually telling me that the kids want a handout. And I said, no, they just need a hand up, with the elderly too and the veterans around here. So I got upset and called the Attorney General. The Attorney General told me straight up, if you want to make a difference, run for something. So I ran for mayor of Paulsboro. But I ran late. I'm from Woodbury. I didn't get the message out there fast enough. And I got 70 votes, and the other guy got 250 votes out of 5,000 people. So that tell you nobody voted.
Right.
So, but that man made a big difference and made me think I can make a difference.
Right.
Since I've been out there with the kids and the elderly and the veterans anyway. If I seen them in front of Wawa, I'd give them some money. Or try to tell them where they can go to the doctors and get help because their legs would be this big, and they would stink.
Right.
And I would try to tell them where to go to get some help.
Right. So it sounds like you're used kind of listening to the flow of the universe.
Yes.
You had a conversation with the Attorney General, you're involved in the community, you're putting the pieces together and you're navigating the waters kind of thing.
Right. I'm keeping it real. I'm just doing what I should be doing. Helping people, because people help me, like the Attorney General, by telling me if I want to make a difference, run. But it started when I was a young man. I had the older men tell me to work, so I started working, learning how to drive trash trucks, got my CDLs, and started driving tractor trailers. And then just kept getting bigger and better. And then, my last job was Winslow Water and Sewer Department. So I been to school for 6 years for water and sewer. I worked there for, 14 years, but I got hurt. So I'm disabled.
Right.
But now this gives me more time for the kids in
Yeah.
the community, and it gives me more time to talk to people and help people. You know what I mean? You know, talk to the young ladies, tell them about how they should carry themselves, because I got 5 daughters. You know, the young men, I can talk to them. They listen to me, man. They actually listen to me, no matter where I'm at. You know, I could be in the county jail, and the young men will actually listen to me,
Yeah.
and they'll go and take my advice. And I've helped out of 20 kids, at least 5 of them are doing really well.
Yeah.
You know, I had one kid I was training in boxing, and I had to step away from it. He kept going. So, and then he got in trouble. Didn't you know he was afraid that I would find out that he got in trouble? And I'm not his dad.
Well, I mean, that's basic respect for your elders, right? But
Yeah.
he also connects with you on that level.
Oh yeah,
He didn't
yeah.
want to disappoint
He
you.
did not want to disappoint me, and that made me feel so good, you know. But when he came home from what happened with him, he just did excellent.
Cool.
He knew what I was talking about from the beginning,
Right.
you know, and that's all I care about. It's helping people
Right. You want to keep that momentum going of positive
and
change.
a positive change. That's why I'm running for New Jersey Congressman now, because I know I can make a change, especially in 4 years. Whatever we got going on will get done. Open door policy, whatever problem they have will be my problem. I'm not going to tell my secretary, tell him, look, man, I'm not here. You feel me?
Oh, of course.
Because
I know what you mean.
I've been to Congressman Norcross's office, you know, but I can't lie. I went to his office a couple times, and I was kind of shunned. But I just went to his office a couple days ago, and he actually sent a good letter out for me for housing.
Good. Yeah.
He really did. He surprised me.
Good.
You know, he's trying to help me.
Yeah. The way it should be, right?
The way
Helping
it
each
should
other.
be.
Yep.
But the first couple times it was like, I don't know, you're just coming off the street. Who are you? Well, I'm the community.
Right.
You know, you work for us, don't you?
Right.
That's how I came off, you know, I need your help. And it's like, you're nobody. But I kept going down Mr. Norcross for years, and you can ask him.
Right.
He knows who I am.
The persistence.
The persistence. I'm very persistent. I keep going till I either get it or I don't.
Right.
But I will keep going. But this time he really helped me. Remember I was telling you?
Yep. Yep.
And he sent a letter out to housing and an email. And I'm just waiting for them to get back to me.
All right.
But I was proud of him.
Yeah. Getting the ball rolling.
Yeah.
All right. Your campaign emphasizes practical solutions like the boxing programs and enhanced mental health care for veterans. How would these initiatives set you apart from the incumbent Jeff Van Drew and the other primary candidates?
Well, because I'd be out there with them. You know, Van Drew and the other candidates, they don't walk the streets. You know, they don't go to the elderlies where the elderly people live at. You know, I do. You know, I ask them, what can I help you with? It got so bad that I went broke by trying to help so much. I had to start falling back.
Yeah.
And this is before I even thought about running for congressman, mayor, or anything.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I figure, you know what? If I can get this job, I can really, really help.
Right.
You know, if I'm trying to help with the little bit of change that I'm making every month on disability, what can I do if I'm the congressman?
Yep. I understand that.
And I keep it real. I don't lie about anything.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You've expressed concerns about the influence of big oil companies and
Yes.
the necessity of protecting our environment. How would you address these things differently than the current representatives?
Well, I would go to these mobile oil, like St. Paulsboro, and find out, working for the water department, we had to test the water. We had to test the water, make sure there wasn't no sewer in it, or no bacteria. So I would get some specialists to go and check every month the air quality, you know, the water quality, and so forth and so on for the community. You know, I would do that personally.
Yeah.
But I would have someone with the qualifications to do it. You know what I mean? And to protect the kids in the community and the community itself.
Right.
Because we don't know what they're doing in Mobile. It's a big city. It sits back there by itself.
Right.
And they tell us nothing now. They did give the community $200 or $200 and some milk for some oil spill that we don't even know if they cleaned up.
Right.
And the ex-mayor, Stevenson, got the most money, retired, and then now the mayor is in there now.
Right.
You know, his word is horrible. You know, his loyalty is horrible. You know, we when I ran for mayor, it was like, all right, if you win, I'm gonna do this for you. If I win, I do this for you. He didn't keep his word. So to me, he you know, you could tell he's still not doing anything from Fallsboro, and his word is not his bond.
Right.
And a lot of these candidates' word is not their bond. They just want the money for themselves. They care nothing about the community, nothing.
Right.
You know, again, I done been to Donald Norcross, I done called the Attorney General, you know, and you can call him and ask him, did Rodney Dean ever call you? And he'll say, oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I care about my neighbor. I care about my neighbor's kids, man. You know, and I know I can make a big difference.
It sounds similar to an interview I had yesterday. You're saying that you have the conviction that you're actually going to do what you say and follow through and be persistent.
I'm actually going to do exactly what I say.
Right.
And be very persistent. And I'm going to help. And like I said, if you have a problem, it becomes my problem.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Totally.
Because again, if that's my job, I'm going to do a very good job, because every job I had, I was the best at it.
Got it.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
I went to school for 6 years for water and sewer because I wanted to be the best. I wanted to make sure I didn't make any mistakes, because you're dealing with people's livelihood.
Sure.
You know, they're drinking water, take a shower. You don't want no bacteria or nothing in their water. You
Right.
know, so I went to school for it for 6 years. You know, they paid for it. Winslow
did the work.
Township, but I definitely did the work.
Yeah.
And it would be times where I would be in the front row, and the teacher would say, "Is Rodney Dean here?" To keep it real with you,
Yeah.
because to get your W1s, W2, you know, and stuff like that, people with the water and sewer know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's not easy,
Okay.
you know. So sometimes the teachers didn't want me to learn. If you understand what I'm saying.
I
Because
am
you-
a teacher myself, so I'm not going to cast too much judgment,
Okay.
but I have an idea of what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. So that's how it was, but I didn't let that deter me.
Yeah.
I learned, man. I learned, and the people would actually call and say, "Can you send the black guy?" Because there's only a couple of us at the water and sewer department. The young black guy at the time, and I would be the one to go out
Right.
and handle the
You were the
business.
dependable one.
I was very dependable,
Cool.
very dependable.
All right.
And I like to say shout out to Louis, because he was our boss, and he taught me also. Very smart man.
Cool.
Yeah.
So InformTheVoteNJ.com has a specific focus on Cumberland County.
Yeah.
So I'd like to bring that up and see generally how you're going to involve all the counties should you get elected, and then possibly get into some of the specifics of Cumberland County, just so that you're aware. Because obviously
Right.
you're from your county, I'm from my county.
Right.
We got to start talking and
Absolutely.
figuring out what each other's issues are and hopefully come together.
Well, that's what I said. I'm going to each county. I'm going to Cumberland County. I'm gonna knock on doors and ask them, "What's your problems?"
Right.
Like I know Salem. Salem's problem is they have a whole bunch of buildings and they're empty. And a couple of people from Salem said they don't like that. They're taking up the farmland and leaving empty buildings, like big buildings. Walmart's
Just
getting ready to
wasted
close.
space.
Absolutely, wasted space. So we're gonna fix that. You know, I have an idea what to do to fix that problem for the people in Salem. because
Yeah.
they rather have their farms than empty buildings and space.
Right.
So, what you say, Cumberland County?
Yeah.
I would go to Cumberland County and find out what they want, what they need.
Yeah. Well, let me give you a couple things right now.
Tell me.
One of the reasons why we're even sitting here is because our newspaper stopped covering the elections like they used to, and our last reporter retired during COVID. And so now I'm just some random guy walking around trying to help out.
Right.
What might we be able to do to help relay the information and start getting the voting information out to the
What
voters?
I would do first, what I would do is find out where I can get the grant money from, and give you the job. You know, find out how I can give you the job of starting an old carrier.
Not
post.
even me. Anybody.
No,
Anybody's
I'm
got to
just
do
saying-
it, right?
No, not anybody, because you have to be a businessman and you have to know what you're doing so we can bring the economy up.
Right.
So I say you because you've been doing this for years, you know what you're doing. So what I'm saying is carrier post is gone, right? Or
Whatever it is.
whatever it is. You just can't go. What used to be in Woodbury at one point.
Okay,
Now
yeah.
I think it's in Pensacola and it's getting ready to close or whatever. So we would we find the funding and set up our own newspaper, and then, you know, you would run it, and then we would fund it from there, and then you would have to hire
People to do it.
people that do the job that you know can do it well as you can,
Right.
and you can teach the kids that want to be reporters in the schools, you know,
Give them experience.
and give them experience. You know, we go back to old school by hands-on.
Right.
You know, we can't just hire anybody. No, we gotta hire people like yourself that know what they're doing.
Well, I'm learning as I go, but I appreciate the thought.
Yeah. But that's how we start, by bringing that economy up.
Right.
And then people would buy from that county, would buy that newspaper. Instead of going on Google or something, they would buy that newspaper because they
Right.
want to know what's going on.
Yeah, the pattern I've noticed is a lot of politicians and just businesses in general, they're putting everything online and they're expecting people to find something very easily on Google, but really it's scattered all over
And it's
Google.
lies.
They're shadow banning.
Yeah.
People expect you to follow them on social media. Like, am I gonna look at somebody's Twitter page every
Right.
day to find out what's going on?
Right.
Yeah,
No, not
we're
at
good.
all. Not at all. You know,
Right.
like I said,
It
gotta
needs
go
to
back
be more
old school.
centralized, right?
It has to go. We have to go back to old school. How are we going to teach these kids?
Right,
You know, look now where they're at,
right.
because we're not hands-on with them. We walk around them instead of talking to them and walking in their face.
Right.
Hey, how you doing? You know, see what's wrong. See how they feel.
Right.
In each county, each town, each borough, each city, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I do it anyway now, without being anything.
Yeah.
You know.
Another issue that Cumberland County faces, because we're one of the poorest and least looked after counties, is we have a lack of broadband internet infrastructure. And we had a big county town hall meeting kind of thing about whether or not we were going to take a grant to beef up the internet access in our area. But you might assume, like, oh, why wouldn't you do that, right?
Right.
But people were complaining about there wasn't a feasibility study done, and they were concerned that if the government starts running that type of stuff, it might not be run efficiently. What kind of idea might you have about trying to get people access to the internet across the district?
That would be pretty easy, you know. The internet, you could go to Verizon, you know, make a deal with them, because I'm pretty sure, you know, it's $11, you know, for Verizon or whatever. And if you buy anything in bulk, you get it for a cheaper price.
What do you
know?
mean it's $11 for Verizon?
Or 10, like for the internet. You
Oh
said the
yeah,
internet.
that's how cheap the
Yeah,
plan is?
it's very cheap.
Well, I think part of, in our county, we're so rural people
Right.
are on the outskirts, that the cables just don't even go
They
out
don't
there.
go out that way.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's why you take the grant and put the cables out that way.
Right. So you just would have went full force
I
for the
went
grant.
full force and got everybody what they wanted.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. cool.
absolutely. And they would have came out because you could get Verizon, you can get T-Mobile, you can get anything.
Right.
Any cable company, but we would want the best.
Right.
So you get the best quality. Because like you said, if it's the worst out there, we make it the best.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, hands on. We have to stretch it out.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Sure. And then one more to Cumberland County specific issues. We have a lot of areas that don't have proper sewage or well water and all that kind of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, there's a big aversion to new businesses and new homes being built because or even just selling off your home because the sewage and the well water is not up to code.
Yeah,
And so
that's-
I was getting quotes last year anywhere from like $30,000 to $90,000 just to get your property in a place where you could sell your house
Right.
or build a new business on this land.
Right. Well, I know a lot about water and sewer, like I said. So it wouldn't cost that much, you know. I know we used to work, like I said, it's been a while, but we used to work with a company named Neary.
Okay.
You know, so you get a company that knows their business, and you would have to pump out the sewage first. Get the dirt tested. Just like if you're building a house, you have to test the dirt. Just
Yeah.
make sure the house doesn't fall down.
Yeah.
You know, an engineer test the dirt. You go out there and
Yeah, is the
so
land stable?
Is the land stable? So meaning you pump out all the water.
Yeah.
All the water, because New Jersey has the highest water table. So you pump out all the water. Okay. Even if you have to put it in trucks, you pump out all the water. And then what you would do is fill it in with good soil. Because the wastewater filters it down anyway.
Right.
So eventually it's going to filter down into the ground and be clean water.
Right.
You understand?
Yep.
Because you put the water on top, the sewer on the bottom. So if something happens to the sewer, it doesn't leak into the water. So it seemed like back in the day, they had the sewer over top of the
like
water.
backwards, yeah.
They had it backwards. So you have to pump that
Right.
old stuff out, then put the sewer underneath and the water up top.
Right.
Because if anything is, you know, bacteria or whatever,
Oh yeah.
the ground will filter it out and make it clean water.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
And that
totally.
does not take $90,000 to do.
Okay. Yeah.
Trust me.
It's just some company trying to,
Well, it was
or
probably,
possibly, I don't know. I'm speculating.
Well, it was possibly they were cool with the company, and you know, we give you 90 grand. You know, you give me 30,000 back, and you know that's how things go.
Right. The
You know,
kickbacks and
the
stuff.
kickback, American Water. You know, these other water companies is taking over the small water companies in the towns and charging us an arm and a leg just for water and pumping the sewer to the sewer stations.
Right.
You know, but that's because we have our eyes closed and our ears closed, you know, and we're living in a fog of lies and the internet instead of, again, going back to old school, putting your hands on it.
Right.
Back in the day, you know, you just get your hands dirty.
Right. You got to get involved. You got to see for yourself what the actual problem is.
From the root.
Right.
From the root. You got to start there from the root, and then you can always fix a problem.
Right.
Always.
Cool.
Always. Just like tomorrow's always gonna come, you can always fix a problem.
Cool.
And it don't cost 90 grand to fix a problem.
Well, I was raised very fiscally minded, so I'm glad to hear that.
Absolutely.
All right. So then, I guess to finish up, we kind of already touched on this, but it's really difficult for an independent-minded person like myself
Right.
to look over 18 different primary candidates
Right,
and
I
try
know.
to be like, okay, what's this guy about? What's that guy about? And what's a fair comparison, all that. So
Right.
is there any additional information that you could give to help somebody know how is Rodney Dean different than the other people?
Absolutely, they see me. They see me, man. I talk to them. They know who I am from, again, 20 some years ago, when I didn't even think about being a politician, you know, because I'm hands-on.
Right.
You know, I've always talked to the kids. I've always talked to the elderly, the veterans, because when they first went overseas, you know, they came back crazy as hell, and they would tell me crazy stories.
Yeah.
And I would say, well, who's helping me?
Right.
And no one. You know, that's what makes me different. I'm always hands-on. Like I
Right.
said, I
You're
come from old
around.
school.
They know who you are.
They-
You're
they-
directly involved.
Right. You know, from every county that I'm going for, you know,
Right.
you know,
Yep.
except maybe, you know, your county, because I didn't run out there as a young man, but I could fix your county.
Right.
I
Yeah.
could, you know.
Most people don't know about Cumberland County.
Well, I know about Cumberland County
Yeah.
now. Don't get me wrong. I've
Yeah.
been out there,
Mhm.
but it would only be if my boss sent me out there for something to do with the water and sewer,
Right.
you know, or he sent me out there to do something, you know. But I know about Cumberland County,
Cool.
you know.
Yeah.
And then I heard, you know, it was bad. To tell you the truth, I heard it was, you know, like
Oh yeah.
a rough city.
We're slowly improving. Our numbers are going up, but yeah, we still need a lot of help.
I think with that too, the police have to get more training. You know, the police have to get more training.
Yeah.
And like Woodbury, I'm from Woodbury.
Yeah.
Woodbury was crazy as hell back when I was coming up. They cleaned that place up, man.
Right.
Woodbury is a beautiful place to be.
Okay.
You know, so I think, you know, with more training with the police, your county would definitely straighten up a little bit.
Sure.
Well, a lot.
Yeah, and I don't think it necessarily just has to do with crime. There's just
No.
we're poor, the broadband internet, the water and sewage, like we just talked
Well,
about.
like I said, there is money out there, you know, honestly, that these people don't tell us about. There is.
Right.
You know, I've used them myself. You know, you can get things done because there's tons of money out there.
Right.
So for your county, and if I'm congressman, they can't keep that information from me.
Right.
So now I give it to you, especially with the newspaper, and tell you exactly what, you know, how to get the grant and the money, because it is tons of help out there. But we just don't know it. They don't tell us it. You know, you get random stuff on the internet. You know, like they just said the other day on the news, if you're getting welfare, you can get disability. But people don't get up too early and go to work to hear that.
Right.
You know, so y'all's county could get a lot of help
Right.
by a lot of grants that's out there. And we, like I said, we go to the root of the problem, find the money, and fix it.
There you go. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you feel about your overall message that we haven't covered that you would like to?
I appreciate you, man,
Oh yeah.
because you're a real dude. I'm a real cat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just hope that people elect a real person. You know, the presidents. I can't really speak on that right now because we're not talking about that.
Right.
But you're a real dude, and I am too. And I think that my opponents are not. Not because I want the job. It's because I ain't seen them.
Right.
They sent me stuff in the mail with this man holding his wife running for New Jersey Congressman District 2. I don't know you. You know, you're not coming out. You're too afraid to come to my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm not afraid to go to yours.
Right.
You know, I'm not afraid to go to Ocean City or Atlantic County or your county because I've been out there. I've been talking to people.
Right.
But you know, you just informed me about your county a lot more. Because some people don't want to talk to me.
Okay.
When I go out there, they just don't tell me nothing.
Right.
You know.
Well, me having done this for the past year, I've
Yeah.
encountered a lot of the same challenges.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are busy or whatever, but I think, once you get past a certain point, it's like, you know who I am, you know what I'm about.
Yeah.
Are you going to give me 5 minutes and talk to me? Or
Absolutely. But they just say no, thank you. You know, and there's nothing you can do but walk away and hope and pray that the people have their ears and eyes open and elect the right person.
Yeah.
Because if you elect the Van Drew and the other Democrats running and then the Republican running, you know what they're about. They're about just getting a damn job, just making the money for themselves and their families and their friends. Because if not, they'd be out here in the communities. You know, they got the money to put their stuff in your mail. They're mailbox winners. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
They have the money.
Right.
I have to walk around. Even if I had the money, I would walk
Get
around.
leverage from the campaign funds and all that.
Right. They got a big campaign fund, but that gives to show you, if I have a big campaign fund, then damn it, we should all be in a car, driving around, walking around. But that shows you they don't care about the community at all. All they care about is the position, is the title. If I win, I don't care if I'm called congressman. Call me Rodney.
Right.
And like I said, open door policy. Give me an opportunity and I'll show you.
Cool.
I will definitely prove it. Because like I said, I'm very persistent.
Yep.
Very persistent. And at that level for that job, I'm too persistent. We will get exactly what we want, and I think the elderly shouldn't have to pay for too much of anything.
Right.
Neither should some of the veterans.
Yep.
And if not all the veterans.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Rodney, for sharing your insights and vision with us.
Thank you, my brother.
We appreciate you coming out and spending the time.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in out there.
Thank y'all, man. Come
What-
out and vote for Rodney Dean,
There you go.
New Jersey Congressman. District
June
4th.
4th. Yeah.
June 4th.
One more time. This is for informthevoteng.com. Go check it out. There's more information about Rodney over there, and then there's information about all the other elections coming up.
We're just gonna keep it real.
There you go.
You
Keep
know,
it
we're
going.
not gonna hide and lie. We're gonna tell them the truth.
Cool.
And I do want to say to Mr. Donald Norcross, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
All right, guys. See you next time.